Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Black Clover manga chapter review number 233. So before getting into the tidbits of this chapter, like normally I like to have points and I separate it and I kind of cover sections, but this was generally a rather simple chapter. So it's going to be a kind of a one-cut deal. But before we want to get into that, I just want to touch on a few things that I don't think I really made clear last time round. It even felt like I didn't know what I was talking about to a certain degree, but I'll cover that now. So the Dark Triad is actually three people: Dante, Vanica, and Zenos or Zenon. I think the surname is. So just to confirm, Zenon is the character that goes to Diamond Kingdom and basically tears it up, beats up two Shining Generals, and that's the character that Look Faultier doesn't want to fight. By the looks of it, Dante seems to be the leader so much, but there's three of them and they've taken over the Spade Kingdom. So I wanted to clarify that because I don't think I was very clear the first time around. But they're very dangerous. They're considered to be in the same legal levels with demons and devils, so they are really powerful. And I guess this is where the story is progressing now, because essentially we've seen a bit of Diamond Kingdom, we've seen the Heart Kingdom, now we're getting into the Spade Kingdom. So what really happens in this chapter? So you could say that basically two things really happen in this chapter. Two and a half, three if you include the comedy element, but we'll get into it. So at the end of the chapter where we saw Asta flying, last week's chapter, we see that he's entered into Pollenflume forest where Charmy is basically eating loads. And she's been eating loads of fruit and it's caused an issue. Now, I didn't really talk about that last chapter because I was hoping that there's going to be more in this chapter, and lo and behold, there is, and I decided to talk about Yuno instead because of the length of the chapter. Was when I was doing my review at the time, it was really long. Anyway, long story short, one of the things I like about Charmy, just generally as in her characterization, is there's two sides to her. So there's the side that looks like a normal teenager, and the side that basically is this chibi form that's cute, funny, and you get the hilarious scenes. So it's funny because when you see the chibi side of it, automatically assume people are going to underestimate her, and she overpowers them with her crazy powers, her cotton candy powers, or her wool powers. That being said, she's just going in a frenzy. She's a glutton, and she's offended that Asta has basically tried to stop her from eating her Yumi foods. At which point she rampages, she gets all the gluttonous animals in the forest, and they go ready to attack. At this point, this is where we see Leal or Real, depending on the translations, kind of step in again and show what he's been up to. And I really like that because Leal's a character that's been given the seat of captain, but the fact that he's still growing means that he has potential to become the Sorcerer Emperor or the Wizard King. And I like that idea because I think all captains should continue to grow as they get older, because essentially, if a captain gets to a certain level and doesn't grow beyond that, it kind of adds a limit to magic. It's kind of something that I think they established quite early on with Yami, when Yami all of a sudden could cut through dimension. He was like, I can get stronger. So I like the fact that Leal has actually got stronger. But the funny part of the whole thing was the fact that he's in love with normal form Charmy, and basically he was saved when he was turned into an elf by her in the whole kind of subjugation and returning your friend's arc, you could say, in that whole elf resurrection scene. But yeah, basically he's in love with her, but he doesn't realize it's her. So that's like, you mean her? She's right there. And he goes, no, not her. And there's like a line that I always like from Charmy. He goes, Charmy, she's like, I'm not chubby, I'm not fat, I'm thick. She's a thick lady. I just like that whole scene. It was funny. It didn't really add to the progression of the storyline, but it's a subplot that I think could develop into something funny later on. I like the subplots, and I like the tied up nicely in Black Clover, which leads on to the proper second point. And it was something that was a question for a very long time, and we finally get some answers for it. So we see like a flashback about I think that's Yuno's conversation with William, and his pendant that he had, which had a charm in there, was returned to him, and he was like, okay, I got this back, cool. And he's heading to Hadge village or Hage village, depending on how you pronounce it, or enunciate it. So he gets there, he returns to the village, he sees an old man in a bed. He gives his name. He's a nobleman from the Spade Kingdom, and basically they've been attacking the Diamond Kingdom, and he doesn't think much of him. Then we go on to find out that the Triad King, the Dark Triad, sorry, 3 individuals that have taken over the Diamond Kingdom, kicked out the royal family, and the royal family was, I believe, they were called Let me bring this up because it's actually. So Grinbellior family. So the Grinbellior family was the royal family of Spade Kingdom, and basically they were ousted when the Dark Triad took over. It was a peaceful kingdom, but now with the Dark Triad in there, it's now becoming an offensive army, power, control type of kingdom that's just causing wars, mayhem, and destruction. And then the important piece we find out. Now, the way it's kind of played up, is, he's a powerful guy, he can come and help. He goes, no, you are a last hope because you are the prince of the kingdom. And that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. So we've been given so many hints about this throughout the story that it's been a theory for a while. We just didn't know what kingdom he was from. That's kind of the key thing. We assumed it was Heart, or, well, I assumed it was Heart or Spade, or possibly another kingdom, because for the longest time, when he was first introduced with Asta as a child in the orphanage, he had to have come from somewhere else for him to be dropped there. We just didn't know why. So there was a whole thing about the elves being the vessel for the elf son. Now you see that was a clue in itself. It's hindsight 2020, as 2020 is like, no, everything makes sense all of a sudden. So he was the son, the vessel for the son of the princess who was royalty, and the leader or the king of the elves. So he was a prince from both sides, human and elf. The vessel was anyway. So that's why it resonated. The sylph that's with him, the wind sylph, calls him Prince Charming. I know there's a whole romantic side of it, but the fact that it was called Prince Charming for such a long time was interesting, and it kind of led to that. Then there was a whole thing where they were talking about power being inherited and how the royal families have a lot of mana, and this was shown in the point award ceremony when Augustus Kira, the king, basically lets out his mana and goes, oh, I'm all powerful, I'm hard me. And then he says that the royal family basically inherits this power. So him being so talented in magic was inherited through a royal bloodline. That does beg the question, though, if he's talented, surely one of his parents or his siblings should be talented as well. What happened to him? Now, this is going to open up a can of worms with so much more information, so much development. I'm so excited to hear about it. But what are your thoughts about this situation? Him being royalty does make sense. I'd imagine it's probably got something to do with the Dark Triad as to why he was left there. Him being with Asta, I don't know yet, because they were left in the same basket. Is it a case he was there and just left him with it, or was there something else at play? Is Asta also from the Spade Kingdom? Is Asta a sibling of the Dark Triad? Is Asta a child of the Dark Triad? Why doesn't he have any power? Was he involved in a dark spell of some kind and his powers were taken? Are there the Dark Triad members in relation to Yuno in any way? Is one of them his brothers, cousins, siblings, whatever? We don't know, but it's all exciting stuff to look forward to in the next few chapters of Black Clover. Anyway, that is my review. Thank you for watching till this point. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Leave your comments down below. I always like to respond to my subscribers and viewers, start conversations, and start theorizing. But like I said, see you later. Peace!